You know that feeling when you're being watched? It started as just a hunch, but by the time I realized what was happening, it was already too late. My name is Jerry, and this is my story about the shadow that followed me. I had just moved into a new apartment in a quiet neighborhood, thinking it would be the perfect place to start fresh. I was 28, working a decent job, and life seemed to be going well. The building was old but had character, with large windows and a small balcony overlooking the street. I spent most of my evenings unwinding there, enjoying the peace. But that peace didn't last long. It all began one night when I noticed a figure standing across the street. At first, I didn't think much of it, just someone passing by, I told myself. But then it happened again, and again, always around the same time, just after sunset. The person would stand there, motionless, watching my building, watching me. I tried to shake it off as paranoia, but the uneasy feeling in my gut told me something was wrong. Days turned into weeks, and the figure became a regular presence, always lurking in the shadows, never getting closer but never leaving either. I started altering my routines, leaving for work earlier, coming home later, hoping to avoid whoever this was. But it didn't help. The figure was always there. One night, I decided to confront them. I stepped outside and walked straight towards where they usually stood. But as I got closer, they vanished into the night, leaving only an eerie emptiness behind. That's when the messages started. I found a note slipped under my door. "I'm always watching." My heart pounded as I read it. How did they get into the building? Who were they? And why were they targeting me? I installed new locks, set up cameras, and even notified the police. But there wasn't much they could do without a clear threat or a face to identify. The figure never showed up on the cameras, and the police treated it as a prank. But I knew better. This was no prank. This was a calculated invasion of my life, and it was driving me to the edge. One night, after weeks of living in constant fear, I heard a noise from my balcony. I froze, the blood draining from my face. Slowly, I walked towards the sliding glass door and saw the figure, not across the street, but standing right on my balcony. My mind raced, and I grabbed the nearest object, a baseball bat. I flung the door open, ready to defend myself, but the figure stepped back into the shadows. I chased after them, but as soon as I set foot outside, they were gone. I looked around frantically, but there was no trace of them. It was as if they had vanished into thin air. I was left alone in the cold night, clutching the bat, my breath coming in short, panicked bursts. Then my phone buzzed in my pocket. It was a text message from an unknown number. It read, "You can't escape me, Michael." I dropped the phone, my hands trembling. How did they get my number? How did they know my name? I realized then that this person, whoever they were, knew everything about me. I felt trapped, like a rat in a cage, and I knew that if I didn't do something soon, I'd lose my mind. I packed a bag that night and left, driving until I was far away from that apartment, from that city. I couldn't stay there, not with that shadow always lurking, always watching. I never went back, not even to collect my things. Couldn't risk it. To this day, I don't know who it was or what they wanted from me. I've tried to move on, but the fear lingers. Every time I see a shadow in the corner of my eye, I wonder if it's them, if they found me again. The experience changed me. I'm more cautious now, always looking over my shoulder, always aware of my surroundings. I thought I was safe in my own home, but I learned the hard way that safety is an illusion. And sometimes, no matter how fast you run, you can't escape the shadows. If you've ever experienced something like this, if you've ever felt that creeping dread of being watched, I want to hear your story. Share it in the comments or reach out to me directly. Together, maybe we can find some answers or at least some peace.